Chicago. We're joined this morning by Dennis Hill. Dennis is the chairman and operations manager of the Coosa County Animal Shelter. And Dennis, good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you with us today. And I didn't know this until you mentioned it. It's state mandated that all counties have a animal shelter. Coosa County was one, what, of 12 or 15 that didn't?
Right. We are one of 15 counties within Alabama. There's 67 counties in Alabama. And we are one of the 15 that did not have an animal shelter and never have had an animal shelter. So we're really excited about what's happening in Coosa County right now.
Have we been working on this for a while?
This movement started about a year ago. There was a lady in Goodwater that made a presentation to the county commissioners about a month before I did, and we were independent of one another. After she made her presentation, her name was Leslie Hardy out of Goodwater. I made my presentation, and in my presentation I actually presented some plans as far as what the shelter could look like and how much cost it would be and that kind of thing. After I made my presentation, we joined forces and we got things rolling.
Well, let's talk about how the shelter is going to look like, where it's going to be, and all that kind of stuff.
We are going to be located in Stewartville. We have gotten support from our county commissioners and all three of the townships within Coosa County. Our commissioners came up with a building there in Stewartville, which was the old fire department.
Yeah.
And we had the lady that runs the Sylacauga Animal Shelter go down there and inspect the building with us, and she said, this building's not a good building for an animal shelter. She said, it's going to be a great building for an animal shelter, so we're excited about it.
I bet so. Now, when is this going to open?
We're looking to actually open for operations in December. Around December 1st is what we're shooting for. We are wrapping up our fundraising phase right now at the end of this month with a raffle that we're having in Weauguska. First place is going to be $5,000, and
hey, that's not a shabby piece of change.
It is not. And we're going to have fun. It's going to be a celebration raffle now because I've had some fantastic news in the last 3 weeks regarding the funding for this animal shelter.
Can you talk about that?
I'd love to.
Are we close to our goal?
Back in May, our directors, which are myself, Dr. Baxley, who is a vet here in Sylacauga, and Lisa Fuller, we, along with our staffers, set a goal of $70,000. And what that was covering was our startup costs, which is $27,000 for the building, supplying the building. And we are a 100% volunteer organization, 501c3, nonprofit. And so our operation cost is $22,000 a year. So we set our goal at $70,000, which would cover us for 2 years. As of last night, we are at $69,000. We're $1,000 short. Yeah, we're excited about it. We've had some anonymous donations. The townships of Kellyton came through for us. Last night, Goodwater came through for us for $5,000. Kellyton the week before for $5,000. And yesterday morning, our county commission came through for $30,000 and possibility of $50,000. This is COVID money that was appropriated to the counties, and they were good enough to set it aside for us.
So, Dennis, let me ask you this. During this time, where have the animals been going to and what's happening with them?
Well, that's a sticky question because they're not supposed to be going outside the county, but since we don't have any facilities here within Coosa County, the county shelters outside of us, the neighboring counties, have been good enough to take them on. They're not supposed to be having to take them on because that's the reason you have the mandate in place in the first place. And that's the bad thing. The problem with the overpopulation of stray dogs and all has gotten worse in the past year. And if you look at the counties, neighboring counties and their shelters, they are over capacity right now. In fact, they're in Sylacauga, they haven't been open for a month as far as taking in.
So why don't we get it, Dennis? I mean, education, you keep pounding, and it gets worse.
Well, I think part of it right now is the economic situation. People are having to decide, well, do I get my animal spayed or neutered, or do I get a tank of gas for my car? And that car is going to get that tank of gas instead of the spay and neuter. I think that's part of it. I think a lot of it is the education thing like you're talking about, because if you call a vet and say, look, I've got an animal I need spayed or neutered, we're looking at around $200, and that's pretty stiff. They aren't aware that there are vouchers that can be had for $25 and get that animal spayed or neutered.
Now, Coosa County, with its coverage of acres and miles and stuff like that, I mean, you'll have them coming in from everywhere.
We've got them coming in from everywhere right now. You're absolutely right. And when I got involved in this thing, and we called a meeting of interested people as volunteers back in April in Rockford. We had 25 people that showed up and signed on as volunteers. I found out in talking to those people that a lot of these people were already fostering a lot of these animals they were picking up off the roadways. And so what we're hoping to be able to do with the shelter, we're going to educate the people as far as the options as far as spay and neuter. We're going to push that real hard. And we're going to have a good fostering system so that when people bring these animals in, if we can't take them in, at least we can get in touch with individuals that can take them in.
Are there particular areas of Coosa County that are more concerned than others?
I really don't. I've heard of stories. I've heard that Goodwater has a lot of stray animals. To be honest with you, when I go to Rockford, I don't see a lot of stray animals. I think most of them are out in the rural areas.
Yeah.
I live in Stewartville, and we're kind of rural. If you go from Stewartville to Marble City area, you see a lot of animals that have just been put out on the roadways.
Wow.
Yeah, I think most of it is in the rural areas.
Wow. We're talking with Dennis Hill, who's the chairman and operations manager of the new Coosa County Animal Shelter, slated to open in December. How can people help?
Right now, first of all, get informed as to what we're doing, and we do have a Facebook page. It is Coosa County Animal Shelter. If you get on there, you can see all the particulars as far as our address, phone numbers. Keep in touch with what we're doing. The Coosa County News, Krista Jennings at the Coosa County newspaper has just been fantastic on getting out the information there, and that's probably the best way to keep informed.
Yeah. Obviously, you're an animal lover.
Yes.
And why did you get involved in this initially?
I retired from the company that I was with for 33 years, 5 years ago. And my wife got tired of hear me ask every morning, what are we going to do today? And so she and I got involved. We knew that there was a need in Coosa County. We love Coosa County. And so we felt we could help out in this way, and that's how we got started.
So what type animals will be received at the shelter?
We, in talking to the individuals that have a lot more experience in this than I do, what we're looking at is probably when we open in December, we're probably going to have an onslaught of animals that are the stray animals that are on the roads, and we want to be able to address that first. So we may not be taking animals that the owners want to release or surrender. And by the way, we are getting our first animal control officer. We've been promised that by our sheriff. Yeah. And
that's a lot of good news.
Oh, it's fantastic. We got a lot of good things going on in Coosa County right now. With our school system, we're getting new programs in. We've got our health department back. We're getting ambulance service. And now we've got the animal shelter.
I don't know if I'm sure you probably already have, but Ben Robbins would be a real strong ally for you guys there too.
We've gotten in touch with Ben, and he has committed any kind of support he can to us. Absolutely.
No doubt about it. All right, Dennis Hill, the chairman and ops manager of Coosa County Animal Shelter, slated to open in December. And opening in December, all of us know here in the Deep South that it starts getting cold in December, and the next few months will really be critical for animal survival, and you guys opening that animal shelter is going to be key too.
That's just luck. But I was thinking about that the other day, the same thing you're saying, that it'd be nice that we can get these animals off the road in the cold weather months. And
do the animals really suffer like humans in cold weather? I've read stories of that.
Well, I can talk from as far as my personal dogs. Yeah, we make sure they have enough clothing and that kind of stuff out there in their doghouse, and when it gets really cold, I bring them in. Yeah, I think they do.
All right, so if people want to donate to the cause, how can they do that again?
We would certainly appreciate any donations. First of all, if you want to have fun with us and make a donation at the same time, buy one of our raffle tickets. Dr. Baxley has tickets at his vet office here in Sylacauga. You can get online and give me a call, and I'll make sure you get a ticket one way or the other. You can make donations at the newspaper in Rockford, Coosa County News. You can get on our Facebook page, and we do have it set up where you can do PayPal and make a credit.
All right, what is your Facebook page?
Coosa County Animal Shelter.
Okay, and I see the number on the screen right there. You guys can call that number, 256-391-7192, if you want to make a donation or need more information about the Coosa County Animal Shelter. Slated to open in December at the Stewartville Old Fire Department there. And I know you guys are getting closer and closer to the opening and more excitement, but there's more challenges as well ahead.
I'm glad you got into that, because we're at the end of this month, we're getting out of our fundraising phase, although we're love to take in funds. But since we're meeting our goal, we're now going into our phase of getting the facility ready. We're taking in supplies. If you've got a refrigerator you'd like to donate to the shelter, we'd love to take it on. We need 2 refrigerators, air conditioning units, that kind of stuff. And we're going to be asking our volunteers in the next 3 months to get our facility ready by, if you want to paint, if you want to clean up, work on flooring. We got some roof work that needs to be done, that kind of stuff. And that way we'll be ready come December the 1st.
All right. Are we taking supplies now? Are we holding off on that or what?
Well, we can't take food and that kind of stuff because we don't have any way of distributing it to the dogs. But the supplies we're looking at right now, yeah, if you have cleaning supplies that we can keep, until December the 1st, that don't have a shelf life and that kind of stuff, yeah, we'd love to take them on.
When animals are received at the Coosa County Animal Shelter, what happens next?
Well, this is something that's new to us since we've never had a shelter, and I've never run one. But the way I perceive it happening is when we open up, the animal control officer, who is totally independent from our shelter, he will bring the animal to the shelter. Well, first of all, he'll make a decision on, is this animal in shape that he needs to go directly to the vet, or does he go to the shelter? If he goes to the shelter, we can make sure he gets basic health. We'll do a 5-in-1 shot. If it's got manes, we'll treat the manes. If he's got worms, we'll treat worms. But if he's been hit by a car or something like that and needs surgical help, he'll be taken directly to Dr. Baxley at the vet.
How long can we keep animals before we have to make a decision? Hey, we're overrun here. What are we going to do next?
Well, that's a tough decision right there. We are going to be a no-kill shelter, which means that 90% of the animals that come into our shelter will be saved. And the only animals that would be euthanized will be the ones that are just totally aggressive and can't be handled, that are known to have bitten people and be too aggressive, or if their health is such that they just can't be helped.
What about cats? You take cats too, or just dogs?
We've been advised not to take cats because cats are a different situation, and you don't get one cat at a time usually. Yeah. Usually you get litters of cats. But we are going to have, again, the fostering. We've got people in Coosa County that love cats and are taking on cats even now. And so we're going to have them set up with fostering, and we are going to have a couple of cages of cats. And in fact, Pet Sense in Sylacauga is going to help us out there too.
Before we go, volunteers are the key to this operation along with funding, but you can't run it without volunteers.
Absolutely. We are going to be a 100% volunteer shelter. Even Clay County, which we're actually modeling off of Clay County, we're going to be about the same size as Clay County, but even Clay County has 2 paid individuals there. And I'm 72 years old. I'm going to run this thing for a couple of years, but I'm looking for my replacement right now.
There you go. There you go. Dennis Hill, the chairman and operation manager of the new Coosa County Animal Shelter down in Stewartville, which will open at the old fire department location in December. And Dennis, Godspeed. I hope everything works out for you, and let's take care of those animals. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.
More Daybreak coming up, but after you watch this.